Welcome to Channel AMAC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested in migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side, so once all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Well, today's video, I'd like to speak a little bit about this what should I say? I don't want it to be rude, but it's a very funny visa that the New Zealand has actually created. It's called the Digital Nomad Visa. I don't know how that will actually be fruition, but I think it's just, I don't think it will work, by the way. But before I do that, I'll just give you an update in regards to all the registered nurses all around the world. So first of all, there has been news came out that the international qualified nurses to be fast-tracked to work in Australia, but there's not much of further detail, and the countries that has been qualified or been meeting the standard that Australian standard require is the you can see the countries such as Canada, Ireland, Singapore, Spain, UK, and US. So it's all these countries. So if you're in registered nurses in Asia, would you be qualified? Well, I think the only country would be qualified is Hong Kong, but all the other ones you will still need to go through the general skill migration and things, and perhaps you need to study further courses or subjects, or perhaps a master of nursing. Other than that, I think first of all, these countries registered nurses, I thought they have already been qualified. It's just required to get a skill assessment done and get the license or registration from AMAC. It's just whether or not they gotta fast track that part, or they gotta fast track the visa part. It's from the information that we have received and across all the resources, it is still unclear. And as part of for the nurses coming from US and UK, they are already qualified. I mean, it's not new, but how fast do you want to fast track it? We haven't really seen any further detail on that one there. However, they just wanted to mention that these countries are also they are also lacking nurses. So whether or not these people get sick of working in their hometown, they just want to get out and come to Australia. Yes, that's probably one way to go. Other than that, they probably will be the income that they receive in their home countries should still be good, because I noticed, we noticed, everybody knows that after COVID, all the registered nurses is in lack in numbers all around the world. So why would they want to come to Australia? The only thing I can think of is they got sick of their work condition. But if they got sick of their work condition, why would they want to change to Australia? I mean, the work condition wouldn't be probably a little bit improved, but will still be the same. So usually, somebody wanted to change career, they probably wanted to change the entire occupation. But anyhow, that's just out there, and it's unclear which part they wanted to fast track. It's either the license part, the registration part, or the visa parts. Because I know the visa part is pretty generic. You still go through 482 visa. Okay, now let's get into the detail. Now this just came out a few days ago, last week. As our channel focus on the visa for Australia, but look, this came out from New Zealand, just from our neighbor. It's just, I don't know, as I said, I don't want to be rude, but it's hilarious. It says New Zealand eases visa rules for digital nomads to boost tourism. Now, digital nomad, I mean, who is not a digital nomad? Digital nomad, I mean, if you got your smartphone, you got your iPad, you got your smart pad, or computers, you work anywhere now. There's so many people going to hotel, holiday, they still work. So who is not a digital nomad? I mean, I think 70% of professional nows are all digital nomad. But what do they really boost? They say New Zealand has relaxed its visa requirement to attract core digital nomads. People travel while working remotely. Well, if it's going to be remotely, you can work anywhere. Why would you choose New Zealand? Attempt to boost tourism just for tourism point of view? I mean, people come as a traveler, as a tourist. If they still got work in hand, they still do it. I mean, I know a lot of people still do it. It doesn't really require you to go through a no digital. I mean, if you work in a hotel, just during how they travel, do some codings or whatever that is. I mean, you don't need a digital nomad visa, right? I don't know. I don't know what to say about this though. Other than new rules, visitor can carry out remote working for foreign employer. Of course, if you're a traveler, you don't work for New Zealand employee. Of course, you work for foreign employer while holiday in the country for up to 90 days. I mean, the visitor visa that you get normally, you can stay 90 days anyway. So what's the difference? I mean, they just say you don't need to pay tax. But look, if you work in a hotel just a few hours, who would know if you work for foreign employer? Who would know? So it's basically what's happening. It's after COVID, New Zealand this is the true issue of New Zealand. Is currently in economic recession. Its tourism industry was badly affected the closure, and also there's another thing that I also wanted to mention, that it's the cost of the older Kiwis are now enabled by the Labour government of Australia. If you stay in Australia for 4 years, you'll be able to apply for Australian citizenship directly. So which country do provide more job offers? Of course, Australia. Now, Kiwis come to Australia also is another cost on the actual housing crisis, isn't it? There's too many. I think there were about 500,000 Kiwis came along over the past few years, just come to Australia. And what is the population in New Zealand? I think it's only about 5 million. So it's going to be 500,000. That's a lot of percentage of young people, young professionals leaving New Zealand to Australia. That is the actual fact. So New Zealand is gone into a recession, and that is a real key. Now, having this visa would actually help the New Zealand as a nation to thrive back from its tourism industry? I really doubt. Now, I'm actually on the immigration page of New Zealand. It says working remotely in New Zealand on a visitor visa. Now, it's talking about remote work. Look, if you work remotely, no one knows anyway. How many people holding a visitor visa, traveling around the world, and still carrying their laptop? And if there's a work required to be done, you still work, and you can still go meeting, right? You can go Google Meet, you can get Zoom, you can go Microsoft Teams. How many people have conducted online meetings while they're traveling? I mean, if you're a professional nowadays, 99% of them do that anyway. So why would you actually create a specific visa for this one? Working for employer not in New Zealand, gain a reward including work done for payments, benefit, can value term money. I mean, everybody does that now anyway. If you're self-employed digital nomad, you can work remotely, client outside New Zealand. Well, why the issue, the question here I have is why New Zealand? You can work anywhere. You can work in Philippines. You can work in Bali. You can work in Hawaii. You can work in Japan, Tokyo. You can work anywhere while you're traveling. I mean, you just have a meeting. If you're a digital nomad, why would you pick New Zealand? And plus, is the internet fast enough in New Zealand? That's another thing I'm not too sure. So this is really funny. It says remote works include answering emails and phone calls. Who does not answer emails and phone call during their travel? Even if you travel with a tour, you've got call or email, you answer, you respond via your smartphone. Coding and testing, who doesn't do that nowadays? You can get AI to do your codings now. Writing reports, who doesn't do that? I mean, AI can actually summarize a report for you. Why would I want to travel as a tourist in New Zealand and writing reports. You can do that anywhere around the world now. Attending meetings, yeah, I just said that. Creating content, social media. If you're an influencer, you do it everywhere. Why would you pick New Zealand? I think that what they want is they want to promote the tourism, but the way they coined this idea out, everybody's doing that unless there's another attraction, perhaps giving out more incentive, for example, pathway to permanent residency, but it doesn't provide that. They're basically asking you to come to New Zealand as a tourist and so call yourself a digital nomad, so you can actually promote the tourist and while you're working. I mean, who isn't doing that right now? Remote work doesn't include this for New Zealand employer with a New Zealand business person or require you to be in New Zealand. So that's right. You're not required to go to New Zealand, why you pick New Zealand to go? So, and they're giving you out a pay tax while you're in New Zealand. So if you're not staying for that long, such a day, you don't need to pay any tax in New Zealand. I mean, it's the same in Australia. You can come to Australia with a visitor visa, staying in beautiful villa on Sunshine Coast or Gold Coast, and you can still work. I mean, nobody's gonna catch you and are you answering phone? Are you working for someone in the States? I'm gonna tax you. No one's gonna do that. So it's just hilarious when I see this news and this new creation of visa. But you can see it's a struggle of economy. It's an economy struggle of New Zealand that caused creation of such visa. Now again, that actually matches of the trend that I have been studying survey for so many years. Every time there is a downturn of economy downturn, the boost of immigration is required. That's the general rule of thumbs. That's how the two graphs goes. Although Australia hasn't really, we don't want Australia to go recession, but Australia the economy, in fact, is not doing well as well. But New Zealand is now actually in recession. So we can see a creation of such visa. First of all, it's not attractive. Everybody's doing that every day. But the creation of such visa does show the demand of government wanting the economy to come back, relying on utilizing the visa opportunities. However, if they do provide a pathway, for example, they can stay longer. If only 90 days, who wants to come? If they can stay 3 years, for example, or like 1 year, what can make consider? But if it's only 90 days, any country you travel nowadays, you can stay 90 days easily. You can go to Thailand, you can go Bali, you can go Japan. There's so many destinations in Japan, in Asia, Europe, United States. Why would you pick New Zealand? Anyway, should you have a question or query, more than welcome to leave a comment right down below. And I see you next video. Goodbye.